see the hands holding the hands, that defeats the purpose.
We're talking about Loki up next on Geek Out SA.
Do not attempt to adjust your YouTube video. We control the stream.
And welcome back to Geek Out SA. It's Friday and we're having fun.
Right, we're back.
We're talking about Loki today. So we saw the 6 episodes
It's on.
of Loki.
I'm on. I'm just not talking very loud. I'm just sore still.
Yeah.
So Vincent and I were in a car accident, and we got hit on my side by a big F-350 Super Duty truck.
So he just squashed you like a bug.
Yeah. But life goes on, so then I had to, mow our yard and then go fill up the dumpster at my mom's house and then mow my mom's yard and go run errands, and so I'm just sore and tired, and I didn't like Loki, so I don't even want to talk about this on the show tonight. So Vincent was like, let's talk about Loki, and I'm like, let's talk about not Loki.
It was short.
Thank God. So I don't know if I could have handled much more of it.
I didn't have a problem with it. I don't think it was bad.
You like everything.
But you have to build the story. You don't like waiting for the story to build.
No, I love waiting for a story to build. I love story building because I'm a reader. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you like it in a book. You don't like it in a movie.
No, I think that I just don't know that Loki is a character. Loki is a character from, like, if you're talking Greek mythology and you want to talk about Loki and you want to see like someone like Pan or whatever, Loki, that general, that trickster, that mischievous one. I definitely wanted to see more of that, and when we got later into the series and we had all the Lokis together and kind of the attitude and stuff, it was better for me than it was at the beginning.
Right.
I don't know if it's that I'm not loving the whole Time Bureau aspect of it, and I just, like, it's too DC Legends of Tomorrow, but it's not campy. I can't pinpoint what exactly I didn't like about it. I don't know, it was just like every week when we were watching it, I was like, another episode. And I really like Owen Wilson as an actor, and I'm a girl, so obviously I like Tom Hiddleston because he's a hot dude, and so who doesn't, right? But I just wanted to see Loki, like, I don't know how to explain it. I wanted to see him, like, messing with Thor, and like him messing with the adventure. I know that this was supposed to be Loki by himself having his own adventure.
Mm-hmm.
But
we get some of that on the first episode.
Well, you get to see like his past, right? Because they show him like, this is what you did, this is how you behaved. So you get to see some of that. And he has some of that attitude with Owen Wilson, right? Like he tries to bring it out, but the dynamic's not the same.
When it comes out, it's the dynamic's not the same because he doesn't have his powers.
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I wish I knew how to. I wish I had somebody on my side who didn't like it, and so they could help me to explain it, because I'm not sure exactly how
think you actually gave it a chance, though.
I did. I mean, I watched the whole thing with you. And like I said, I think it got...
I mean, the way you watch shows is like this.
Well, right. I play my games while I watch the show. It's true.
So I don't
If something really captures me, then I'll stop playing the game. But no, I don't stop. The producer says no too because he watches shows with us too. And I think maybe that's some of it. I think that COVID in a way has impacted the way I watch TV shows, in that everything, and maybe it's old age too, has affected the way I watch TV shows, is that everything is like so tropey, and I'm like, oh, I know that's gonna happen. Yep, that happened. Oh, I know that's gonna happen. Yep, that happened. Oh, I know that's gonna happen. Yeah, that happened. Like nothing.
But I kind of think this was even before COVID.
Like nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing takes me aback. Nothing's like so fun and interesting and
now.
shocking.
Well, we're almost 50 now. We've seen everything.
Yeah. But I just feel like they're bound to be things that you could do, especially with Loki, because he is a trickster, because of his attitude, and then this twist and turn where he's in love with himself, basically, which I get it because he's a narcissist and he is in love with himself. So that makes sense. But then he's in love with the female version of himself, and then he kind of, I don't know, becomes kind of like mamby-pamby, kind of like a weakling, like he's more concerned about her than he is about himself. And I don't know. There was just too many like little nitpicky things that just agitated me about the whole thing.
Well, the idea of having a good character is the character changes from what the character was at the beginning of the story to the end of the story. And I think it showed within those 6 episodes the change that Loki made.
Yeah, but I think that there are certain characters like Loki that are these anti-heroes, basically, right? Like you think of Deadpool. And they're not supposed to change. Like Deadpool, okay, yes, you know, Deadpool kind of like cares for that kid in the Deadpool episodes, and so he kind of goes out of his way to help the kid. And yeah, Loki, you see sometimes, okay, he does care about his brother Thor. He does care about Asgard to an extent, right? And his home. He has those moments, right? But they're short, and then he's back to being Loki. So I guess I never got to see that, okay, he's having this short moment with himself with Sylvie, but then he's back to being Loki, if that makes sense. Like, he's back to only being concerned about himself, and I needed to see him kind of return back to himself, I think, and be, you know, self-centered and kind of self-destructive, and I don't know.
I don't think we see it the same way.
You're looking at me like I'm insane.
Yeah, I don't think we saw the same shows.
Oh, okay. I never see the same show.
But I pay attention to it, and what it's. I mean, it brought out a lot of stuff, and because of that, I think it's kind of going to mesh with like the next Spider-Man. Because of all the multiverses and all the different branches that it was going through. So I like that aspect of it. I like that it had some, because I'm wearing Doctor Strange, so it had a little bit of elements of Doctor Strange, a little smidgen of it within those episodes that kind of captured my attention the entire time.
So you're talking about that 6th episode where we see this God character that they finally get
just
to the
talking
end
about
of
the timelines in general. I saw that aspect because Doctor Strange he's the keeper of time.
Right, him and his kind of group of people.
Right.
They're kind of not so much the keepers like this organization is that we see in Loki. Like, this organization...
They're able to see the timeline.
Right. This organization that we see in Loki is they are being forceful with the timeline. They're forcing different people out of the timelines so that certain events don't happen, right?
Right.
So, which is interesting because I actually am a big reader, and so I'm reading a Dean Koontz novel right now, one of his Jane Hawk series, more of like a mystery kind of thing.
Right.
And it's about these government agencies and everything where they have an AI that can determine like who's going to affect about this organization that's like, it's basically they're keeping the timeline the way they want it to be.
Right.
But the head entity feels like he's keeping the timeline that way because he's preventing some kind of catastrophe from happening. And we're spoiling it, but trying not to spoil it too much. So, yeah, I think as we, I don't know, I felt like, yeah, as we got like further into it, there were some parts through your mic.
Yeah.
Okay. Stuart was supposed to check the batteries for the component that he has.
Did.
On our mic.
Checked
he
it.
checked the batteries, and he said it was 2 out of 3, and then all of a sudden it died. So that's fine, because we have 3 little bars, and it's supposed to show.
So now we should be back.
From outer space.
Nobody cares. Nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching
No.
because nobody cares about Loki because it wasn't that good. Or
It
maybe
was
they
good.
haven't watched it yet and they don't want us to spoil it.
It was good.
What did
What
you
I
think,
saw-
Stuart? You watched it with us. What did you think?
I've watched 2 episodes.
Oh, that's right. We didn't watch this particular thing
No,
with
I
you.
remember
You
I
watched it with
was
Daniel.
supposed to watch it with Daniel, and of course Daniel got through
You should have watched it with us.
2 episodes.
And then you could have helped us talk about it.
So of the 2 episodes, what did you think of the 2 episodes?
It was okay. It was building. It was like episode 1 was alright. Episode 2 was like
Right, that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah.
Episode 1 was all right. I was like, okay, maybe I could get into this. And then episodes 2, 3, and 4 were like, how much longer is this going to be? And then 5 and 6, I was like, oh, sweet. Okay. Now I'm on. Now I'm ready. Now I'm good.
and then there was no more.
And then there was no more. Yeah. Well, okay, no, 5 was like, yes. And then 6 was like, yeah. Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know
Well-
what I got for the first 2 episodes?
Huh.
That sounds like Lightning McQueen. Is that Lightning McQueen? Is that guy that does Lightning? It's like, yes, Daniel.
Yes,
it's Lightning
that's
McQueen.
Lightning McQueen. Oh, I dropped it again.
Fulgore
On the
says,
straw.
I loved it. Colleen is bonkers, lol.
Fulgore. Okay, well, you tell us why you loved it, Fulgore, because maybe Vince needs somebody to back him up on why
It
you
was
loved
good.
it.
Vincent likes everything.
I know. So tell me why you liked it so much.
Because
You're always asking me to justify why I don't like things. You justify why you do like them.
And I'm pretty sure that I did throughout this entire episode right now. But
Lies.
but this DC, not Marvel, Colleen.
What's the difference between DC and Marvel?
So I think,
You like the Doctor Strange thing.
yeah, I like the timeline things. I like the multiverse.
You like that it's leading to the multiverse. That doesn't really tell me what you like
And
about
I
characterization.
I like the character of Loki. And I like
Why? Why?
Wilson's character.
Why?
Because they showed him change from beginning to end, which we didn't get to see that in any of the things.
So he went from Loki to being like kind of a wuss.
Someone different. You can't for someone that likes things to change. You don't seem to like things to change in movies.
I don't like wussification of characters.
I don't think there was a wussification of a character. It was him experiencing something that he's never experienced before.
Woo, love.
But he's coming to terms about his mom as well, and how much his
They
mother meant
hardly,
to him.
they hardly touched on that.
You didn't watch this. You didn't pay attention to it.
They,
And then, when that happens, then you see
hi, it's nice to see you.
why
Hello.
why he started becoming attached to
Oh,
Sylvie.
you're just lovely.
So Fulgur says it has a great character development. Loki becomes a hero instead of an anti-hero.
Would you like
I like the
That's
twist
nice.
in regards to the
That's lovely.
TVA.
Thank you.
Owen Wilson was awesome.
That's lovely. Thank you. Okay, that's great. Yeah, you knocked down my microphone. Are you done? Don't eat that. No, we don't eat that. That was nice. Thank you. The dog. I mean, I see y'all's point. I do see the point that you're trying to make, that he did
Yeah, I
like.
think Owen Wilson was a great character in that, and I didn't think he was going to be at first.
I love. I think
I
Owen
like
Wilson
Owen
can do
Wilson,
no
but
wrong.
No, he can. But I didn't think he was going to be good in this, and he was great in this.
I definitely thought, like, because Owen Wilson, any part that he acts.
Didn't play himself the way he usually plays Owen Wilson characters.
I thought so. I thought he was very Owen Wilson, and that was the thing. Is
It's like Owen Wilson, like, grown up. It's not. It wasn't the same. It was. He wasn't as silly.
but I think that would have played well off of Loki. Like, Owen Wilson plays Owen Wilson all the time, right? And Owen
But I
Wilson
don't think he played
is
that
basically
same Owen
Loki,
Wilson.
right? He's mischievous. He's kind of goofy and derpy, you
But he
know.
wasn't as goofy and he wasn't as mischievous in this role.
Well, maybe that's what I missed. Maybe that was what I didn't like. I wanted him to be goofier.
That's what I liked about it, though.
I wanted him to be like, I wanted him and Loki to be like intentionally messing up the time stream and like doing stuff together, like buddy cop messes up the time stream. That's what I wanted.
But that's kind of already been done and needed to be different than
Everything's
Legends.
already been done.
It needed to be different than Legends.
Yeah.
And I think they made it different enough and good enough.
Well, I mean, in Legends,
they're the ones who are trying to enforce the timeline, right?
Right.
Whereas in this, they've been enforced out of the timeline, basically. And so, I mean, there were parallels and stuff. I don't know, you're looking at me like I'm crazy and you can't, like, you don't want to be friends with me anymore because I didn't like this show, but...
No, I don't care if you like the show, but I don't understand why you didn't. No, I understand why you didn't, because you didn't watch it.
Maybe.
That's a throwdown.
He's always throwing down.
Well, you didn't want... You didn't give it the full attention.
Did I be mean to me? Did I be mean to me?
I don't give anything my full attention. That's just a thing that I do. Like... No, sir. That is a rug. I mean, I do give things my full attention if I'm, like, really into them and I really enjoy them.
She's proving my point, like, right in the show with the dog.
The dog is distracting.
Exactly.
He just brought me a rug. He has a whole rug that he just brought in here. You don't understand how distracting that's very... I'm easily distracted, okay? I'm not interested in this show either. And maybe it's just because Loki's not a character I was initially interested in. I'm not as much of a fan of Marvel as I am of DC. I prefer animated things. Like, I struggled to watch Superman and Lois. I don't pay attention during that, even though I really like Superman and Lois, like Lois and Clark.
Because of that, they were building a story, and you don't like that building of story, and then once they built the story, and then they come out with the great stuff, you're like, yeah, but the rest of that stuff was just like that.
But that, I like building a story. I like to read.
No, you like reading a story, but not in what you're watching.
So when I'm watching something, I just want to jump into the action. But then,
Yeah,
like, I was playing
think
my
so.
games in my purse during Fast and Furious 9 because that just jumps into a bunch of action, and that's ridiculous, over-the-top action. So I don't like that either. Basically, I don't like anything. So now we've found out I don't like anything except for books, so we should just stick to books. And I should just go read. Or play app games on my phone. I don't know. It's just my opinion. In my opinion, I didn't really like Loki. I wanted Loki to continue to be an anti-hero. I wanted it to be like a little sillier and goofier. You know, if he was going to go be in this time thing, then I wanted them to be chasing him throughout time and him creating mischief.
That's what they did.
No, really,
That's what
they
they
were
did.
chasing Sylvie, and he was just tagging along with Sylvie.
Yeah, but they were also chasing him as well.
Well, at first...
That's why I'm saying that we saw two different things.
At first, he was, like, helping them to try to find himself.
He wasn't helping them at first.
He was, because he
wasn't.
thought that would benefit him, that he would find a loophole and he would escape.
Exactly. He wasn't
I see.
helping
I was
them.
watching.
He was trying to. He
Thinks
was
I'm
trying to
not
get out of
watching.
it.
I'm watching. It doesn't take all of my brain to watch a show like this. I just wanted more. I wanted it to be more.
Well, I think it's because it was only 6 episodes. Maybe it was that.
No, I just think I wanted it to be more grandiose, like the acting to be more grandiose. I wanted it to be more like, I don't know, more something. I don't know how to I don't know how to pinpoint it. That was why I was struggling with having this show with you tonight, is I don't know how to explain what I didn't like about it. It just wasn't enough.
Just like your dad used to
I
say.
know, my dad always used to tell me,
You have to
explain why you don't like it. You can't just say you don't like it.
it.
My dad used to do that to me all the time. It was the worst. Take me to art museums and be like, what do you like about it? I don't like that painting. Why? I don't know. I don't like it. No, you can't just not like it. What do you not like? I don't know. I've been trying to tell you what I don't like. And then every time I tell you something I don't like, you're like, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong.
No, I'm just saying you saw something different than I did.
I always see something different than everybody else sees.
I think we're all like that. We bring our own personal likes and dislikes and thoughts and feelings and personal experiences into something, and we read it differently. We see it differently. It comes across to us differently. Maybe if they had been singing and dancing in there.
If they had made a singing episode,
if there was a singing episode, I'd have been down. Right then and there, they'd have had me. It'd have been no problem.
Phone would have gone down.
Yep.
TikTok.
I would have put the phone down. There would have been no more app games, no more TikTok. I would have just... maybe if Loki was just all 15 seconds long, just 15-second sound bites. No, I hate that too, because we've been trying to watch the Guardians of the Galaxy shorts, and they're like 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
That agitates me. Because I just start getting into the story, and then the story's done. I'm like, what happened? I don't like it.
And the credits are almost longer.
Than the episode, yeah.
Than the episode.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I think I was just... like they said Loki, and he's... he's like Calvin of Calvin and Hobbes, right? He's like attitude, but he's kind of stupid, right? He doesn't quite always get, like, the point kind of goes over his head, but he's kind of playing to his own rules and stuff. And I felt like he was too tamped down. That's the only thing that's the only way I can explain it. That's the only thing I can articulate, is I feel like he was too tamped down in this. He wasn't out there as much.
I think we saw it different.
I guess so.
Show.
I guess so. Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
That happened. Maybe it was a different timeline or something.
I am from a different universe. I'm kind of odd.
So if you watch it at the beginning, you know at the end, there's kind of like after credit scenes, not really, but mid credit scenes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mid credit scenes that just kind of shows, well, you're gonna see Loki again in season 2.
Yeah, to be continued or whatever.
Yeah.
Colleen's wrapped for that.
Can't wait. More Sylvie and Loki fighting each other, even though Sylvie could just press a button and put him back in the thing. I don't understand. It's just little bitty things like that where I'm like, you threw that in like all of a sudden for what purpose?
But they had 2 choices at the end, so I don't want to give it all away.
She already knew what choice she was going to make, so she could have gotten rid of.
Yes, but the choice that she made didn't give her power.
She doesn't want the power.
So she didn't put him anywhere.
She put him through the door back into the time thing before she did the thing.
Yeah, but she didn't change anything.
Yes, because she stopped him from stopping her from doing what she was ultimately going to do. But then if she was going to do that anyway, why did we need the whole fight scene? She could have just put him through the door initially and there was no fight scene between them. What was the point of it?
But you don't know what her reasoning behind that was.
But that's what I mean.
Did she not know until she did what she did?
How does she not know she has the capability of doing that?
People change their mind.
I don't know. I didn't get it. Maybe I just didn't get it. I was just like, I didn't get where they were going with it. I didn't get what we were supposed to get out of it. I didn't get it. I liked all the Lokis. I liked Alligator Loki. He was fun. I liked Little Kid Loki.
So they were showing, I saw one of the memes with Anthony Hopkins holding a little alligator, talking to and it says it's Odin and baby Loki.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was funny. I don't know. I dug the show. I really liked it. I can't wait till it comes back. But then you couldn't get into WandaVision.
No, I liked WandaVision very much.
You didn't really like it at first, no?
I think I did.
No. What do you what do you think, Stuart? Did she like it at first?
I think she did. I think you're a liar.
Yeah, I liked WandaVision at first.
I think you're Mr. Opposite Man.
I liked WandaVision from the get-go.
You know what? From, again, I've only watched 2 episodes because I have a child that can't sit still and thinks everything's Lightning McQueen. The WandaVision was much more interesting.
I think I liked WandaVision more because I felt like I could relate to her pain and what she was trying to do to create this space to hide her pain. And I loved the way they went through the different time frames and the different TV sitcoms and stuff. I loved WandaVision. I loved WandaVision.
I liked it because of the eras that we grew up through, seeing all the TV that we did.
Yeah. But I liked the storyline of WandaVision as well. And I think maybe because, again, I felt like I could relate to that more. As somebody who's lost somebody that they loved, you know, and if I had those kind of powers to create that space for myself where I just didn't have to deal with that pain of loss and I could just pretend that never happened and just go on and live my little happy, because she had such a rough life all the way through, you know, and so she was just hiding all that pain. I really liked their story and her progression of I'm hiding in my pain to I'm realizing this is me hiding in my pain and I'm dealing with who I am and what I'm capable of and who I become when I'm beyond who I thought I was, basically. I liked her progression. And again, maybe it's just my connection to different characters. Because, like, I loved Mandalorian. And that's got a lot of, you know, building up and finding out who he is and where he comes from. And, I don't know. I just didn't love Loki.
Maybe it's because they're chasing another widget.
Maybe. I don't know.
So, Loki's a variant. He gets pulled out of the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? I don't. This is one thing I didn't get. He got pulled out of the timeline, but what happens to him because he's not in the timeline anymore?
Well, he got pulled out of the timeline because he was about to create a branch.
Right.
So so all the other things that had happened to him and with him within his timeline continue to happen. The him that's in that part of the timeline continues to go.
So it switched what happened.
That was not my understanding.
I think it should switch what happens. Then why'd they pull him out of the timeline if it wasn't going to change it?
They pulled him out of the timeline because he was planning on going in and changing it. Because once he had the Tesseract, he was going to go back and change some things for himself. So they pulled him out of the timeline.
So they have to put him back in the timeline.
Well, no.
In order to finish what he was doing.
Oh, right, because he gets the Tesseract really before Thanos kills him, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the timeline.
Mike Oxlong says, that's deep.
Yeah, I guess I was assuming that since they showed him what occurs in the timeline, there's a version of him that stays in the timeline. I don't know. They mess with all this timeline stuff, and it's
because when they take Sylvie's out of her timeline, and it wipes out that timeline.
But she wasn't supposed to be there at all to begin with, but his Loki is supposed to be there. So a version of his Loki continues in the timeline? Because he's the version of the Loki that's supposed to be in the timeline?
But he was removed. There's got to be more to it because he's got to come back to that point at some point.
And then they have to, Men in Black him and put him back in the timeline so that he
Yes,
just
I don't
behaves
know.
the way he would have behaved.
They didn't explain that. Because when they wipe out these variants, they wipe out the timeline that they were in.
Which I think I didn't understand some of that either, because then they're all pruned, right, and they're in the void.
Or that's what everybody's been led to believe.
Because then, how were they all in the same timeline to begin with? How did we have an alligator Loki, a little kid Loki, an old man Loki? How did the old man Loki get to even be an old man to the extent... And then he's taken out of the timeline where, for what purpose?
But
like
it was
if
a branch way back.
But if Tom Hiddleston's Loki is supposed to be the Loki, the only Loki, then any Loki that was born or became Loki who wasn't him should have all been pruned. If his Loki is the only Loki, I don't know. I don't understand. I didn't understand how it worked. I didn't understand some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I was
maybe we'll find out more on that on the second season because that was having me question a lot about what was happening because of the wiping out of the timeline and removing the variant.
But is it timelines in each of the multiverses? So like the little boy Loki that's in the void, right? He was wiped out of his timeline in his multiverse where he's the Loki.
But what they were saying that there's one sacred timeline.
I know, but then how do we get all of these?
Because there's branches that happen off. So maybe somebody married somebody else in one, and that took a different branch.
But then wouldn't they be babies and they'd just be annihilated and they'd or they'd annihilate the couple and prune them before that even happened, or?
But it's only when they decide to mess up the timeline to bring on whatever bad was supposed to happen.
I don't know. I didn't get some of that. So some of that I didn't get. And it wasn't because I wasn't watching it. You and Sue are both
Just
making
like
the
that.
motion.
We know the truth.
I don't like it.
I don't know. What do you expect happening? What is happening for season 2 on that?
Well, now nobody knows who he is.
Right.
And there's all of these different things. So I think we're going to see all the different multiverses now. And then they're going to have that God character, but he's going to be like multiplied a million times. There's going to be some big war battle or something between all the God characters. And then Owen Wilson and Loki are going to have to team up. And then Loki's still going to be pining for Sylvie. So he's going to have to go find what happened to Sylvie. And so, yeah, it'll be all that.
So you don't even have to watch it. You've already know. You know.
I know what's going to happen.
She'll watch it. She'll just watch it like this.
Right.
Or could
So
it?
that was.
Or could it be because there was just such a long break from any Marvel product, and that was you just lost interest?
Well, no, because we went and saw Black Widow, and I waited a long time to see that, and let me tell you, it was worth it. It was totally. I'd go see it again.
Yeah.
It was worth it. It was that good.
Black Widow was really
It was
good.
that good. So yeah. So I don't know if it's just. I'm telling you, I just didn't like the way the story went. I didn't like it. Are you gonna?
So if that's the case, could they bring back Black Widow?
It's a comic book movie. They can bring back
Of
anybody.
course, they could bring it back. But I heard that there was a in Black. I can't even talk about that because it's gonna ruin it.
Yeah, don't ruin that yet. It's.
There's an alternate ending to Black Widow that was shot.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Don't even tell me. I don't want to know.
I'll tell you after.
Tell me after. Go see Black Widow. If you want to see a Marvel,
yeah,
if you want to see a Marvel property that's really great, go watch Black Widow. It's totally worth it. Definitely a must see. Just don't bother with Loki. No, you can watch Loki.
No,
It's only 6 episodes long.
Definitely watch Loki. It's really awesome. I really like it. But thanks for checking this out. If you haven't clicked on the subscribe button, click on that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so the next time we go live, you'll know. But thanks for checking us out. I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen, and that's Stuart. Geek out, SA.
Thank you.